A small group of seemingly strong and sturdy warriors were camping out in a sparse forest, and one guy stood out, dressed differently than the others, and drinking coffee. This guy was Choi Hyun-seong, the protagonist of the story we are going to tell you about today. The whole squad was having a lively conversation, while Choi Hyun-seong was patrolling the area in his head. Suddenly, something changed. The shaking of the ground was felt by everyone in the glade, including Choi Hyun-seong, and the shaking of the drink in his glass also signaled the change. Imuji, an enormous sea serpent that didn't turn into a dragon due to an ancient curse, was immediately recognized as coming. The Blades of Wind squad quickly prepared for battle with the monster. Everyone froze in anticipation of the enemy. From far away, a huge serpent was rapidly approaching them with a deafening roar. As it approached, it put its special fear skill on the squad to instill feelings of terror into the fighters' hearts. But the pink-haired girl ordered everyone to calm down. She dispelled the monster's debuff. Choi Hyun-seong was the first to attack the monster, creating purple sparks in his left hand while holding his trusty blade in his right. He took a huge leap over the serpent and crushed it with his enormous power, creating an explosion of purple sparks. But to return to the past, Choi Hyun-seong is a 27-year-old normal guy who works as a construction worker and had to drop out of school due to his father's illness and mana deficiency. A portal into another dimension opened up 19 years ago and became both a blessing and a curse for the world. Monsters from Otherworld came out of the portal and inflicted immense damage on humanity, but at the same time superpower players with superpowers awoke among ordinary people. Being players in the human world became a profession, and they earned money by selling loot that fell from monsters from another world. All players were very rich people. Because of the opening of the portal, there were new incurable diseases, such as mana deficiency in his father. The cure was a rare stone that fell from a mighty monster and cost a lot of money, which the boy's family did not have. His mother and the young man got several jobs, and his sister gave all the money saved up for the wedding, but they still didn't have enough. In those moments, Choi Hyun-seong dreamed of waking up and becoming a player, having superpowers, and becoming a rich man. Sun was lying on his bed thinking about how great it would be to wake up and show the world what he could do. He compared waking up to power to winning the lottery. Choi Hyun-seong got out of bed and wanted to wash his face when suddenly blue light flashed around him. The inscription read, "You have been awakened." Choi Hyun-seong was surprised and immediately decided to find out his characteristics, but was quickly disappointed as they were not at all impressive. Level 1, Health, 100 points, Mana, 100 points, Strength, 5 points, Dexterity, 3 points, Magic, 1 point, and 5 unallocated points. But the guy was attracted by the strange inscription at the bottom of the sign, a special skill selling and buying. He hadn't seen that anywhere before. However, the guy was very upset by the fact that his characteristics did not exceed the baseline of other heroes of 40 points. He knew that players with good skills were always in the spotlight, and he had heard of heroes who had been awakened twice, like Kim Ha-na, but there weren't more than 10 such players in the world. Then, the guy became interested in his personal skill, buying and selling. He decided to use it, and a huge list of player items, of various rarities, opened up in front of him, at which point the guy saw that he had 2 billion points on his balance, which made him very happy. He saw items of legendary quality such as demonic staff on the list, but he could not buy it since to buy items of legendary class his points were not counted. He needed others. He decided to search this list for a cure for his father and found the elixir, and then he realized that he needed to engage in trade. He started looking through the goods for different classes and found a crystal for increasing strength parameter. Choi Hyun-seong decided to try it on himself and was very surprised with the results because his physical form improved manifold. Next, he started to buy various other crystals for different attributes. He decided to register as an awakened player and went to a special institution. The girl at the registration desk asked the hero if he was too old to be awakened, to which the guy was very surprised until he saw a mirror nearby, from which an old gray-haired man was looking at him. The building staff thought the hero had lost his mind because he was too old to wake up. Back home, Choi Hyun-seong realized that his age depended on the number of points in his score, something he wasn't prepared for. He realized that 1 point equals 1 second of his life, and the balance was slowly but steadily flowing away. Choi Hyun-seong was lying in his bed, lamenting the fact that he was in this situation. According to his calculations, he has only a year and a half to live, and if he doesn't think of anything, he will die soon. He remembered that he could sell goods on the sales board with a 20% commission and decided that he had nowhere else to go. After looking through his belongings, he decided to start with the game console. After making sure it worked, Choi Hyun-seong sent it for sale through the screen and put a price of 99,999,999 points. The merchandise was on sale, and the guy figured he could sell something else. In a distant land amongst the rich trinkets, the Demon Queen was sitting on her throne. She was very angry that no new interesting items were appearing in the store and was leafing through the list very quickly. Suddenly she saw a notice that there were new items on the sales board. Her happiness couldn't end. At that time, the main character was sitting in his house and was happy that all his goods were selling well. He had already managed to get young enough thanks to the trade, so he was not going to stop. The pretty gazebo at the center of the lake, where the unknown white-haired girl was staring at the newly purchased goods, seemed to be from another world just like the Demon Queen, and had just bought some of Choi Hyun-seong's things. Looking at the previously unknown to her electronic watch, she noticed that the numbers on the display change over time and decided that this item would definitely come in handy. Next, she began to examine another item, a smartphone. At first, she didn't understand how it worked, but after she opened the camera, everything fell into place. It's a mirror, she thought. She was also very surprised by the filters on the camera, which allowed her to change her appearance. In the end, the girl embarrassedly began to take selfies, but she quickly enjoyed this process and began to pose actively. The Demon Queen didn't have time to buy all of Choi Hyun-seong's merchandise, which made her very angry, but she did manage to buy a few things. On that list were tissues, glasses, pills, a lighter, a power adapter, and a game console. Scanning them with her magical vision, she quickly realized that there were no magical marks on them, but she still didn't understand what all this was for. But after that, she figured out how the game console worked, and now she was angry, because she was constantly getting killed in a video game.